So let me tell you about the power ranking system. Now, you're familiar with power rankings before, right?
Yes.
Of course, we got PGR, the Panda Global Rankings. They're doing Smash 4 and Melee rankings every year.
Of course.
And a lot of sport, tennis has power rankings, golf has power rankings, and they all work kind of similarly, right? It's just basically a summary of your competition performance.
Yeah.
In our case, it's tournaments. And it's making the system for this was a little tricky. Usually, power rankings are percentage based, but that would assume that you've been to every tournament, right?
Right.
Like when basketball releases their power rankings, it's largely based off of win percentages and how do you do win
playing
percentage.
every season game all around.
It's like 50-50, you win or lose, right? And with us, we have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, a bunch of seventh, a bunch of ninth, a bunch of 13th.
Yep.
So it was a little trickier, right? And then, of course, with how much our game evolves, we thought it was very important to consider recency.
Oh, yeah.
And this was something I talked about with a few top players as well. Recency, how recent a tournament was, is the largest factor in what they believe to be skill or power, right? And I agree with that. The game is very much alive, and I mean, just last year, from summer championship to regional qualifiers, right? We had dash implemented, and it's huge difference to the game. So the recency
even without that, I think recency is so important because everyone's leveling up constantly.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we saw it at Winter Championship, right? Tiffany winning NA, Blue coming out of nowhere, getting third place. That's the kind of thing that we need to keep track of. We don't want it to be impossible for someone like Blue, who can just show up and start winning, right? To be nowhere on the power rankings because everybody's score is so accumulatively higher than his.
Right.
So this system kind of takes care of all that. It also considers things like individual matchups. Let's say you got 32nd place in a tournament, but you beat the guy that ended up getting first place, you're gonna get mad points for that point. I say points, but it's like, whatever the value is that the system is considering. So you get bonuses for that. On the flip side, you get penalties for losing to low people. So if you got first place, but you lost to 256th place along the way somehow and ended up winning, you'd get a bit of a penalty for that. Now, the penalties never take you below where you're supposed to be. Everybody gets a kind of like flat score that either gets amplified by wins or penalized by losses, or some kind of mix of the two that ends up balancing them out.
Okay.
But in the end, it cares about who you beat and not just what place you got, because that's important too.
It is important for sure.
It also considers the importance of the tournaments. For example, let me just give you guys, I'll actually give you guys the numbers of this. They might not mean a lot to you, but if you just consider them relative to each other, it should make sense, right?
Okay.
A AAA tournament, sorry.
So
a AAA
from
tournament
last year, a lot of the Brawl League events and stuff.
Yeah, those kinds of things. A AAA tournament has a multiplier of 1, right?
Okay.
Or an importance value of 1, let's call it importance value.
Okay.
For whatever, an S tier tournament, which was basically just the Stream.me Legend Series tournaments, that has a value of 1.5.
Okay.
Double S tier tournaments last year, that means online championships and LANs. Those are 2. Those are an importance value of 2. Regional qualifiers, slightly higher, 2.25.
Okay.
Just a little bit more important than a LAN or an online championship, because that was
it was the
everybody
in
the region, right? And then BCX has an importance value of 3.5. So that's a pretty big shift, right? And I think you'll all agree BCX is where it really goes down. Yeah, it's the World Championship. But we also consider the recency value. BCX was a good deal of time away, right? Yeah. So I think I have something here that I can use to help illustrate what I'm talking about with the recency.
Sure, yeah, because BCX was back in November. The most recent thing right now being the Winter Championship that was just a couple weeks ago.
Right. So and so as soon as I get this graphic, it's all gonna make sense.
Sure.
Hey,
I know you've got
okay, there it is.
all of the everything that you were setting up for this stream. Oh,
there was a lot of setup for this. So here we go. Let me bring this up for everybody.
There you go.
Okay,
That's
so this should help illustrate the recency bias. So you can see it. So basically, yeah, the percentages should kind of make sense to you. That's how important, how much, it's basically a multiplier, right? Where let's say 73.2 would actually be you'd multiply it by 0.732, right? And you'd get the final value. So this kind of shows how important, how
it curves
the
down
recency
from
curves,
the
right?
most recent
And so you can see that BCX is basically 90%. So still very important. It was hard to believe, but it was over 100 days ago already.
Man,
doesn't that seem weird? Yeah, BCX is over 100 days ago already. So that's about how you can imagine the scaling will be in the future. We're going to continue with this scaling curve, with this recency curve, and just as time goes on, it shifts. BCX 2017 will become less and less valuable. I mean, it's still times 3.5, but it'll get less and less valuable as time goes on. And you can see that it starts to scale down pretty hard. In particular, we wanted the jump from Dash to be quite significant.
That makes sense.
So from Shine to the regional qualifiers, you can see a pretty big dip in there, 73.2 to 54.4. And that is because of Dash. I think we all agree that
pretty
the
massive
game
change
shifted pretty big time, so let's
sense.
count those a good bit, right? So that's our recency curve. That is probably going to stay. The importance values of tournaments we may consider changing, but we're looking at just keeping it the same, right? The online Winter 2018 was 2, just like all the seasonal championships of last year. We may do the Dream Hacks as something like 2.5, cause it's Dream Hack. But that's all to be determined, and not important for now. Right now we're talking about Winter Power Rankings. This is everything from Winter 2017 to Winter 2018. And I am, man. Are you guys ready for this? I want to talk about a couple more things.
I'm sure they've got to be ready. I know you wanna go through a bunch of things about how these work. And
you know what? Let's give some CCs away. All right, guys. So I'm gonna show them to you. All right, no more teasing. But I just want to let you guys know that there are 3 different lists. Okay, so we have, and there's an important distinction to make between them. We have of course a 1v1 list, a 2v2 list, and a combined list. And the combined list is not just adding them together or anything. It's actually considering it's considering both. But so the way, I actually glossed over an important detail about power ranking. They consider your 8 best tournaments, right? So it doesn't ruin your score to miss a tournament or anything. It's not like you got last place by missing a tournament.
Right.
It's just that everybody else is getting fresh data and you're not. That's the big harm to it. But it's not like you can miss a tournament, come back and win the next one, and you're like, it's no big deal, right? But yeah, so it picks your top 8 best, and so that's what's the important distinction about the combined ranking. It's that it's your 8 best across both modes.
I see.
So, and
cross-referencing
another important thing to mention about that is that 2v2 is worth 75% as much as a 1v1 event because there are twice the amount of placements coming in from 2v2.
Gotcha.
Right? There's 2 first places, there's 2 second places. So without that, it's like 2v2 is twice as important, almost twice as important.
Right.
So to combat that, we just, it's halfway between being worth half as much and being worth the full amount. And it ends up balancing out nicely. So it's 75% is not a random number. It's just in between what is, because playing, 2v2 is not half the work. You're still killing 2 people, right?
Sure.
But it's right in between. All right, guys, let's do this. So I'm gonna show you guys all at once. I am going to reveal the the combined power rankings. This is the ultimate list in my mind.
Okay.
The combined power rankings list. We will have it separated in the future. In the game, our big goal in the game, which by the way, it's not going to be displayed this patch. We're shooting for next patch. We had a lot of big things to do last week, so we couldn't get it done. But so the big goal of how they're displayed in the game is to have just the one list, right? It's top 50 combined, but then you can sort it in a bunch of different ways, right? Oh. So there'll be 3 different groups of sorting, right? One will be NA, EU, both, right? The other will be 1v1, 2v2 combined, and then there's all the different like rankings to sort from. You can sort by rank, which is default, right? Or by earnings, or by top 8 percentage. How many time? How the percentage of time they get into top 8? Top 32 percentage. How many first place wins? All of these, you'll be able to sort it in all these different ways. And no matter how you sort it, we're gonna show the top 50 of that sorting. So we're not just. So right now I've only got, I've got graphics here with top 10 on each list. We've got the spreadsheet which has top 50 of each. But in the end, in the actual game client, even though you might not see your name on here right now because you didn't get top 50 combined or top 50 1v1, you may be top 50 in NA for top 32 percentage or something like that, and in which case you'll find your name in the in-game list. Nice. Right now we've just got lists to show you. Sure. So, so I'm about to show you guys. I know you guys are freaking out. Like, please just show them already. And I am totally intentionally making you wait. So I'm gonna show you guys the list of top 10 right now. We'll go into more detail afterward. So here it is, combined power rankings, tournament performance, all summarized for you right here in this list. This is top 10 right here.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Addy Mastic is number 1, and I don't think anybody is surprised.
That's what most people were kind of assuming, right?
Addy Mastic is number 1, of course, right? He is so well-rounded. He's won, and when he doesn't win, he gets like 2nd place every 1v1 and 2v2 tournament.
Constantly. Let's see. Expired saying he called top 3.
So, oh wow, that's you know who called their rank? Blood Diamond. Blood Diamond came here in the beginning of the stream. He says, "I think I'm rank 8." And me and TW keep checking. He's like, "Oh, he's right."
We're like, how did you get it exact?
Blood Diamond completely predicted it. But this is it. This is top 10 combined power rankings. Addy Mastic in 1st place. LDZ 2nd place. Boomy in 3rd place. And we got Remy, Dobrian, Cake, Noel, Blood Diamond, Isidru, and Daiku. I know Daiku was messaging me like, I hope I'm top 10. And I was not saying anything.
Right, yeah, I can't give it away.
Sure. He's exactly top 10. So, congratulations, Daiku. No need to be sad. You got top 10. Okay, I have more for you guys. What do we do? We do 1v1 or 2v2 next?
Hit me with the 2v2.
Okay, let's look at 2v2. 2v2 is interesting.
Oh, really?
It is. The 2v2 is pretty interesting. 2v2 is, there's 2 first places. Addy Mastic and Cake are both 1st place in 2v2.
Well, all right.
Because they have never not played a tournament with each other.
Yeah.
That's
it.
Yeah. They just,
I see how that
their
works.
scores are no different. Boomy and Remy, it's funny because Boomy and Remy, they're 3rd and 4th. Remy would be tied with Boomy, but they split apart for just a couple tournaments. Yeah. So their scores are actually extremely close. But that little bit of time apart, Boomy had won a little bit more than Remy did, and so he's just a bit further ahead. And then look at this, Phazon and Lil Cap's making it to top 10. Hot off their victory in the most recent tournaments, and this is likely because there's about half as many 2v2 tournaments. I think all in all we considered 8 or 9 2v2 tournaments, while 1v1 was closer to 16.
Yeah.
So a victory, a first place victory in the most recent tournament is very potent in terms of how many points you get. So Faison Little Capped up there. And then, man, Blood Diamond and Noel. Look at this, Blood Diamond over Noel. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting how that worked out. Starlight squeaking in. And Daiku, once again, just
rounding out top 10.
Rounding it out.
You know? Oh, man. Yep, Daiku rounding out the top 10.
Daiku's asking if he got placed 10th at everything. Well, let's find out.
That's a good question.
Let's look at the 1v1 power rankings right now.
We saw the 2v2. We saw the overall. Now we're heading over to 1v1.
So did Daiku get 10th in everything? Who's first in 1v1?
Good question.
Let's find out right now. So there it is. LDZ taking first place. You know it's because of that BCX victory, right? First place in BCX is still very recent, you know, about 90% on recency, and on a 3.5 multiplier,
and
because
you know,
BCX
if
was
you're
such a
going
big
back
tournament.
to Winter Championship 2017,
he won that
he
one
won
as
that
well,
as well.
And spring.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got the wins. I don't think anybody would argue with that. LDZ, he is a champ. But look at this, Dobrian in second place. Yeah. That's really cool. You know that's got to be because of winning the most recent tournament, the Winter Championship, right?
For sure.
Because Addy Mastic, Dobrian got 4th at BCX. Addy Mastic got 2nd. There's a pretty big point difference between those two places.
Right.
But because Dobrian won the most recent event and with a first place, it shot him up that far. I'm pretty sure he's real close to LDZ in the points, but points are irrelevant. It's all about rankings. So yeah, we got Wilson up here. He wasn't in any of the other lists, but he is 8th on the 1v1 list. He shows up. He gets top 8. You know, he does well.
He was at like every
Crocky not on the
last
list.
year.
No, I guess Crocky is not on the top 10 list. But don't worry. So this is just for the purpose of a graphic to show you on stream. We're showing top 10.
Yeah.
There will be top 50 on the website, which will be up by tomorrow.
Nice.
Hopefully, cross your fingers. On the rankings website, you know, brawlhalla.com/rankings.
Right.
We'll have the power rankings up there. And by patch after this next one coming up, we should have the power rankings visible in game with all kinds of cool sorting technology. So that's going to be cool.
Oh, yes.
Now, I know you guys are wondering, well, what's right below 10th place? We couldn't make graphics for that. It was a little... We tried,
right
and it was pretty cluttered.
You know, that Brawlhalla Esports logo. Let's just duck down here.
So I have those rankings. I have the spreadsheet here, and I'm gonna go. We'll look at the spreadsheet with everybody right now, so that people can see what's below that. We can talk about some of this. Let's have fun. Let's just look at some of this stuff. Let's have some
excited to take a peek.
Sorry about that. Is this it? Okay,
yeah,
this
that's
is it.
the one.
Okay, so it might be a little small. We're just looking at a spreadsheet here. But as you guys can see, this is overall. So this is combined 1v1 and 2v2. From 11th place down, we've got Lil Capped, Faison, M for Mini, 13th place, Stevenator, 14th, Starlight, ERAM, STTP Wilson, Effie, Effie is making it to top 20.
Yeah, man.
iThrow, Ariel, Maltimum, Tybo in 22nd place, Tiffany in 23rd place, off that one victory, basically.
Crazy.
Viper in 24th place, Yami, Koslix, Pugsy, TB, Wrenched, Double Dime making it into top 30. Hyper Hero, Goosey, Silly Gobi. Let's scroll down here a little bit.
Sure.
Corsation, Egg Soup, Hermison, Bacon underscore. Don't forget the underscore. And we got Crocky here. He's got Crocky in 38th place, Blue in 39th.
That is the combined. This
is combined. Yeah, this is overall. This is both 1v1 and 2v2, considering your top 8 tournaments. Top 8 in terms of like total value after recency, after importance, after everything, right? So we got a Tropheus in 40th place, Mother Russia, Sticky You, Zero, Cheddaro, Midget, Cody Travis, Doppy, Flamethrower, Astronaut, and just barely making it into overall, we've got Stimpy. And you know what? I wanted to mention something here. Check this out. iThrow, 100% top 32. If iThrow gets in a tournament, he's going to make it to top 32. Same with Cake. 100% of just tournaments he's entered, he makes it to top 32.
I like that consistency.
Isn't that bonkers? Is anybody else with 100%? That's it. So Cake and iThrow. Those are just two guys who, when they enter a tournament, they are guaranteed to get top 32. That's awesome. And a couple of these guys, like I know LDZ would probably be at 100%, but I think he got DQ'd out of something a long time ago.
Okay.
So something I should mention, these percentages are not your top 8 best. These are everything you've participated in.
Right.
So all the percentages are everything you've participated in.
It's just more
the ranking value. Yeah, it's for fun. It's for funsies. We got their total earnings on there too. It's funsies, right? The power rankings are meant to be very powerful in terms of marketing. You're able to use it to market yourself. I am rank whatever on this thing.
Oh yeah.
So as much, whatever cool data we can get in there, we do. We've got, as you can see, we've got Twitter and Twitch links for all you guys.
Those are going to be going up on the website
are, yeah, you'll have a little bird, little Twitter bird logo and the little Twitch logo next to the names on the power rankings. So
I like it.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. Let's take a look at a couple more. Let's look at 2v2. Let's see what happens. So this is 2v2 rankings.
Yep.
And you can see Isidru just barely out of top 10. Goosey in 12th place. Goosey and M4Mini are another group with the same ranking because they've only played together, at least since the beginning of 2017. They have not split up at all. So that's pretty awesome. Egg Soup at rank 14 in 2v2. That's pretty awesome because Egg Soup took a real long break, but he did well enough at BCX and the recent event to get that far up. Silly Goby in 15th place. Eram, LDZ, Stevenator, Viper, Effie also making it into top 20. So Effie's top 20. He's top 20 all across the board, it looks like. But we haven't looked at 1v1 yet, but I'm quite sure he's done even better in 1v1 than he has in 2v2.
I would not be surprised to see him up in top 20 there.
So Dobrian 21st in 2v2, Bacon _ Ariel, iThrow, Yami, Cody Travis, Tybo, Multiple, Astronaut, Pugsy. Man, look at all these names.
Zero, there's Crocky.
So 50th place, we got Psyche. Just barely. So another important thing to mention, and this is why we're only looking at top 50. We actually have a value for everybody who's participated.
Right,
of
course.
But here's the reason why. We intend to build tools that scrape Smash GG for every little bit of information we need, right? Due to time constraints, we could not do that and get these rankings up in a timely manner. In fact, we're much later than I wanted to be already, right?
Yeah.
So Ice Pingu, the god, Ice Pingu,
god.
he spent many days ripping through all this data and getting us what we need to make power rankings and to make them right. So the big limitation of that is that he's a human, right?
Yeah.
So we're only considering stats for top 32 and above of all these tournaments. So there may be plenty of people who got 33rd place, who would have a better ranking, who might be 60th place instead of 100th place or something.
Right. Yeah.
Because they weren't drowning in pools, but they didn't make it into top 32. That group of people we're not getting a good measure of because we just couldn't count that much. I mean, that would have been quadruple, even more than quadruple the amount of data because we have events with 5,000 people in them. I would love to and intend to have all of those players ranked in some form or another and all of those visible on the in-game client. We're just going to have to wait for the next iteration to do that. We're going to start building the tools to be scraping Smash GG API for all of this information. We're working with Smash GG to make sure that we're getting all the information that we want.
Nice.
So even more detailed for the next one, On this one, we're just going to look at top 50 because those are nice and accurate. Those are players we have lots of tournament data for because they were in top 32 a lot of the time. As you can see in the percentages here, very often in top 32 of the tournaments they have entered. You know, it's cool looking at some of the low. Let's look at 1v1 here real quick.
Yeah, bring it up.
We got LDZ in first, so just outside of top 10. M for Mini.
Ooh.
Stevenator also really close in top 10.
We got I Throw Cake, nice. ERAM, Lil Caps going down. Ooh, Effie down in 22.
So Tiffany makes top 20. And this is an interesting stat to look at. You can see the wild difference in her percentage of getting into top 32 than everybody else. That's because this was like the first tournament Tiffany got top 32 in. This was huge for Tiffany. And this just goes to show you how potent the recency is because it was first place and because it was the most recent tournament, even without any other good data to go off of. That brought Tiffany all the way into top 20 of 1v1. If Tiffany wins the next event, probably top 5, right? Like that's gonna be huge.
Oh, yeah.
And all of the data of the tournaments where she wasn't performing well in, where she getting her bearings and stuff like that, that all just decays, you know, gets older with time. All the new data comes in, all this high-end data, and she'll rise up in the ranks pretty fast.
Because not only is it like filling up spaces in your 8 best, it's also filling up spaces for your recency and like
right, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, in the end, you just compete in as many tournaments as you can and win as much as you can, and you will be higher up on the power rankings.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it comes down to, right? But that's real interesting. I mean, it just goes to show that you're not late to the party, right? Just because you're deciding to get competitive now, it's not like, oh, there's no way I'm ever gonna be able to compete with this guy. Yes, you can. It's all about you. You practice, you get better, spar with the people practice against them. Compete to improve at competing.
That's what it's all about.
Makes sense. Competitors improve by competing.
Yep.
Let's look at a few more of these. So we got Multibum 21st place, Effie in 22nd place. I assumed that Effie was going to be higher in 1v1, but it turns out not to be the case. 50% of the time in top 8, 80% of the time in top 32. That's interesting. And so we have here, over here, we've got medals. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Fun stats.
How many first, second,
How many first, second, and thirds did they get in 1v1? Yeah, and so we can't easily sort this, but it looks like we don't have to. LDZ has the most first place victories.
Who's that? For like total medals, that's really high. Noelle
with 10 third place. You know what? Just total medals.
20 total medals.
That is, just at a glance, that is clearly higher than everybody else in here. This guy's on the podium.
Yeah.
Noelle is the podium master. He lives in the podium. He has an apartment there, looking with a nice view. That's awesome. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot, and that's good stuff too. Because LDZ's on the top of 1v1 here with 4 gold medals. Now those were 4 potent gold medals for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 2 of them.
But same amount. Hey, another thing I want to mention, Remy's 4th place across the board. He is 4th.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
4th place, monster.
Interesting. That is strangely consistent.
That is consistency to a T.
Look at this, Remy, 92.86% of the time in top 32. I wonder if that was maybe because of a DQ. We just got to count the DQs. There's no fair way to discern from it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're registered for a tournament, you're expected to be there. Whatever that ends up being. But I mean, that's whatever. That's just a fun stat to look at anyway. That's not affecting the actual power ranking.
Right. When we do, I remember I talked about this like real early on, before the season even started, before year 3 was called year 3.
Yeah.
I was talking about this fantasy system that we were gonna do, and we're still planning for that.
Yeah.
And all these features we're adding, the power rankings and the streams and all this stuff, that's all just the bones of the system, and it's just gonna keep growing into more. So eventually, when we have fantasy, it's gonna help to have all these fun stats to look at.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, another thing that we're planning on doing is having little icons for different tournaments, so that like little trophies almost. Just these little baby trophies that'll show up in the list next to their name to show which tournaments they won. So the winner champions will have like a little snowflake,
or something.
a little snowflake next to their name. You know, BCX will have like
the actual BCX shard.
We could do that.
Ragnarok.
I was gonna do. That's fun. That's the unofficial name of the BCX trophy is called the Ragnarok. I'm not sure many people know that actually.
Thanks, I think
that's our internal. I think it was Dolce. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
If it's pun based, very likely to be Dolce.
Probably.
So this is it, guys. It's like he's with us.
Yeah.
It's like he's with us now. Stardust, look at this. The Stardust sneaking in with all his performance in 2017. We haven't seen him as of lately, but he did enough to make it that far. This is interesting. I love looking at all this data. My goodness.
It's fun. It's really great stuff. Man, yeah, because let's don't scroll, don't move. I saw something that was a pretty interesting stat over here. Somebody that was chilling with like a low top 8%, but a crazy, like a pretty high
top 32.
Top 32.
Oh, is that
like
Silly
maybe
Gobi?
Like Hermes in there. Like 17% top 8.
Oh,
well, like
wow.
76%. So like, of course, he's sitting up there.
That's the kind of that's the data we want, right?
Oh yeah.
That's cool. That's very interesting. Yeah, he's right there. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing him in top 8s coming up, right? Because that's what happens. You keep competing, you keep improving. And
that's cool.
You know, you pull a Tiffany, just win one of these, and you'll be up there.
Oh yeah,
man! Look at all this data, funky fresh. I love it. I can't wait to get it in the game with all the sorting and stuff. It's gonna be so cool.
Yep.
So we're looking to have the rankings up on the rankings website, Brawlhalla.com/rankings by tomorrow, hopefully. And it'll have your Twitter links and Twitch links on there.
So if you find your favorite player, you can just be like, oh man, follow his Twitter, check out his Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to check real quick to see if BMG Dan like snuck them on there while I wasn't looking. Okay, no, they're not up there yet.
That would be insanity.
You never know. They might be like, oh, it's done, and I don't get the message or anything.
It's already nighttime.
We'll look at it tomorrow.
They're
you got a point. It's midnight now. So tomorrow, hopefully, we'll have them up on the website. And the patch after next, we're gonna have them in the game. That's gonna be really, really cool.